We're just getting started.
This fall, a woman will finally sit in the Oval Office. It's the Oval Office in House of Cards, but I'll take it. Claire Underwood certainly isn't the first female character to become president. Since at least the 20s, women have taken turns running the free world in TV and film. There's no question that these depictions of female presidents reflect the hope for a similar reality in this country.
How so? Isn't most of Hollywood run by Democrats and other left-wing people? I'm not saying that no one wants a female president, but why should that matter in the first place? The sex of the president is superfluous as to how well they can run the country. All it is an interesting fact that happens in history. That's about it. Oh, and later on in this video, she contradicts herself.
But even in the imagined worlds of film and TV, the glass ceiling is as present as ever.
I think that women are treated differently, even if it's unintentionally. And I think that is reflected in the shows.
Just because you think it's reflected in the shows doesn't mean it actually is. Remember, this is fiction, not reality. A lot of stuff in fiction is exaggerated or completely made up.
Vice President Claire Underwood only becomes president when her husband, Frank Underwood, resigns. The same thing happens in V. Vice President Selina Meyer ascends to the presidency when President Stuart Hughes resigns. And then, in Commander-in-Chief, Vice President Mackenzie Allen becomes president after
The president has had a stroke.
And this proves what?
There's a pattern here. In many of these shows, women are not elected president, but become president by default.
And what is wrong with that?
The same thing happens in Quantico, Prison Break, Scandal, and other shows. So what does this mean?
It means absolutely nothing. Literally nothing.
Well, if these shows are any reflection of the real world, it suggests that Americans are just not ready for a female president-elect.
You got all that from absolutely nothing. Okay, on. First off, let's start in real life. Hillary Rodham Clinton. She was the Democrat nominee, the first woman major Democrat nominee that won the primary, or the primary of any major party. Also, we currently have 3 Supreme Court justices who are female, and as of this year, 2018, 19.8% of all congressmen are women. So how does that show that women aren't in power in the United States government? Now, as for fiction, well, since you're going off the fact that most of the presidents who are female in fiction are inheriting that position, there are some who don't inherit that position. There's the president in Supergirl, the president in the second Independence Day movie, and there's also the president-elect in the Purge election year. So, I'll say again, where's the glass ceiling?
In 2015, the same year Hillary Clinton announced her presidential campaign, a Pew study revealed that only 4 out of 10 Americans hope to see a woman president in their lifetime.
See, this is where you contradict yourself. Let's play back the other clip.
These depictions of female presidents reflect the hope for a similar reality in this country.
Sorry, sweet cheeks, but you can't have it both ways. Either it represents reality or it doesn't. As for that Pew Research study you just mentioned, the key word is hope. That could just mean the other 6 just don't give a crap whether it's a man or a woman. Because when it comes down to it, your sex or gender don't matter.
And let's not get into the results of that presidential election.
Why is that? Is it because she's one of the most hated candidates of all time, regardless of her sex? There was even an experiment in which a school had the gender swapped for one of Hillary and Trump's debates. And what happened in the end actually was that the female Trump was viewed more favorably and the male Hillary was viewed less favorably. For the most part, people don't care about the sex of the people running our government.
So the fact that many of these women were brought into power via the vice presidency suggests that men are still the true gatekeepers of power in politics.
Again, they're TV shows. They're fiction. And as I said earlier, there were some female presidents who were elected. So quit with your bullshit.
Though they hold the most powerful position in the world, fictional female presidents aren't immune to sexism.
For this show,
show Veep, for example, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, they were able to show that, for female candidates, a lot of times there's much more of an emphasis on what they're wearing and their physical form than on their issue agenda.
You do realize male politicians get the exact same thing. All I need to do is bring up Trump. Do you know how many times the media has said that Trump is unhealthy and unfit to be president because of that? Or how people make fun of his appearance, like his kind of orangish skin depending on the lighting, or his atrocious comb over. Seriously though, Trump, I think you should just shave it all off.
When President Selena Meyer is told by Mike, her director of communications, to identify as a woman in one of her speeches, she replies,
I can't identify myself as a woman. People hate that.
Saying you identify as a woman is different from being a woman. I think you would get the exact same reaction from people who say, I identify as a man, or any other category like your sexual orientation or race. I think people are just, tired of all the identity politics.
Unless we see strong women in positions of real power in our fictional world, it continues to be difficult for the young women and the girls and the older women to really see themselves in those positions of power.
I myself don't look at gay characters or male characters or white characters as role models for, I can achieve this. Sometimes I see myself maybe becoming president in the future. And I don't think that way because there's any gay male presidents in fiction.
And equally, it becomes difficult for the voters to see women in those positions of power.
Citation needed. Well, that's going to be it for today. If you liked this video, please give it a like, subscribe, share it, comment down below and tell me what you thought. Follow me on my social media like Minds.com, BitChute, Gab, Twitter, Facebook, and Vimeo. Also, support me on Patreon and Maker Support. And I'll see y'all later.
We bop and hippity hop. I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and hippity hop. I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa, boom, boom.